Big up, big up, big up. We're going live a little early just in case the draw starts to begin. This is the Liverpool 12th Man, and it's the Liverpool 12th Man show. We are about to have the Champions League draw, and I wanted to get into this with you guys because I definitely wanted to share this moment with you. We're back in the Champions League, so I appreciate those that are joining me a little bit early, obviously, but it is a special event. It's something that we'll talk about, something that we'll all be able to witness and go through with this moment together. And I appreciate you guys that are joining me live for this event. And also, I was trying to get as close to as the actual, drawing as possible because I knew that. I knew that despite it being on a half an hour before this, I knew that it was going to probably end up being a lot of song and dance and the whole nine. So big up to everyone that's joining me now. And it's going to be, we're just going to dive right into the deep end, do a little soul surfing here and definitely hopefully get some good arrangements for us. What's going to be fun about this is that it's not going to be the normal format. We went into this yesterday. I kind of broke this down. I believe JK is going to be joining me pretty soon, possibly even Lee. What I've really recognized about this process is that we have 4 pots that are going to be graded off by your coefficient. So your coefficient puts you into a certain pot, and we fortunately have a very high coefficient. We are the 5th top team in the Champions League pots, so that makes a big difference. It makes a big saying about the fact that we didn't necessarily win a title. It still shows the relevance of the Premier League, and also shows the relevance of our performances in the leagues and competitions that we've been a part of. This is the Champions League. Let me bring this up here to make sure I have this all correct. This is the pots that we're looking to be drawn from. As you can see, Manchester City, Bayern, Real, PSG, and then we come in at 114 on the coefficient. And then Inter, Dortmund, and then Leipzig, and then Barcelona finish out our pot. So what happens is you got pot 1, you got pot 2, you got pot 3, you got pot 4. You'll get picks from all the different pots to go into the games that you'll have to play in your push towards the knockout stage. What's really unique about this is that I broke down something of what I was hoping to kind of get. It'd be nice at least to get this type of drawing for us. So I'm going to show you what I personally thought would be nice to see. It'd be nice to see us get, now these are our home games and these are our away games. So basically I'm taking 2 from pot 1, 2 from pot 2, 2 from pot 3, and 2 from pot 4. The total coefficient that you can get when you really add up all of these, when you put it all together, would have been 637 was the total coefficient. That's the maximum coefficient that you can get. The maximum coefficient, the hardest coefficient that you could get would be 318.5, basically. And that's why I'll show this. It says I had the total coefficient at the bottom, meaning like what is the breakdown of the total coefficient. That kind of shows you a rating or grading of it. And I was looking at it as maybe I was hoping that we get PSG. I think they're possibly the most doable, beatable in the pot 1, especially if we get them at home. I would like to see a Leipzig as well as being the away fixture for us. Atlanta, Shakhtar, Celtic, Feyenoord, Storm Graz, and Girona, for all different reasons, by the way, too. But what I would like to say is we're coming up on the first actual drawing. Make sure I have it in the background here for you guys. We're coming up on the first drawing here, and they're mixing them up, and this is what we're going to get. First drawing is being done, and it's going to be Manchester City. Manchester City is the first team from pot 1 to be drawn. Manchester City is the first team to be drawn from the pot. So, I'm going to also include, oops, hopefully you guys got to see that. Oops. I'll bring up the teams that we can possibly get. So Man City has gotten their so what it is that Man City's gotten their drawings all done. They'll be playing Paris. They're going to be playing Feyenoord. I was looking to hopefully get those in there. I don't know if they're going to release the schedule today, Red for Life. That's a good question. Very good question. Inter has been chosen as the second team from pot 1 to be chosen. Inter has just been chosen. I'm going to also, I have a graphic to show our home and away, by the way, once we do get it. I don't necessarily like the fact that they're making it where the computer picks the actual teams that the teams that will be played against. I'm not really liking so far what they're doing with the actual selection process. I think it would have been actually more of a entertaining process as well if they had just gone through and made it where they pick randomly the teams and just picked and brought it in. So Bayern Munich has just gotten picked as the third team out of pot 1. Bayern Munich has just gotten chosen as the third team out of pot 1. And what I meant by that is they're just basically they're picking out a pot 1, and then Cristiano Ronaldo's hitting a button. Big deal. He's got a lot of, and Cristiano Ronaldo, by hitting that, it's picking the teams that they'll play. So they look like they're going to be facing Feyenoord, Aston Villa, some of the bigger names on there. Barcelona, they'll be playing PSG at home. Again, I don't know why we have. It's going to be interesting because they have pot 2, they have a pot 3, they have a pot 4. It's going to be interesting. So Leipzig is just gotten chosen out of the pot 1, and Leipzig is about to have their they're gonna have their league. Cristiano Ronaldo looks so disinterested, by the way, in having to basically press a button. Like it is not an involvement at all, really, other than pressing a button. But Cristiano Ronaldo did show up with some bling bling. Let me say, not just only in his ear, but a little pendant. I think that's almost like a straight diamond. We have Liverpool. We have our first game that we're going to be seeing. We're going to be playing Leipzig away. We're going to be playing Leipzig away, by the way. Let me put that in. Dortmund is the next. Yeah. Yes, it did. It did. It definitely did. I'm looking. I would like to play Leipzig, to be honest with you. Dortmund is playing Barcelona, Real Madrid, Celtic. I want to play Celtic. They're playing Sturm Graz. I'd like to play them too. They got Dynamo, the Russian team, and Bologna away. Definitely a doable lineup. But so far, the only team that we have to face so far in that pot one is Leipzig. Barcelona has been now just chosen. Big up, Marion. How are you doing? One of the red jewels. One of our red jewels in the house. Pleasure, always, always. And MK Toe, big up to you too, by the way. Big up to you. Let's see. For Barcelona, they are playing. Again, we have managed to miss out on facing anyone in pot one, really, other than Leipzig, it looks like so far. And it will be a home match for Leipzig when we do face them. But so far, that is the only positive out of this, is that we're not facing, it looks like we're not up against any of the big boys, as you want to put it, just as of yet. Real Madrid is now the next name to be drawn from the pot. Real Madrid, champions of the last Champions League. We we will be seeing Real Madrid. We will be seeing Real Madrid, people. Real Madrid has drawn us away. Real Madrid has drawn us away. Big game for us. Big game for us. So far we have Real Madrid and Leipzig as the two games that we have picked as our current games to be faced off in the Champions League. Big draw. They have Milan, Atalanta, Salzburg, Lille, Stuttgart, and I didn't see that last team that they just had in there. So 2 teams left in pot 1, and it's going to be Liverpool have finally been chosen. This is going to be where we get to see who we are going to be facing off against. We have Leipzig, Leverkusen. We have Leverkusen. We have AC Milan, Lille, PSV, Bologna, and Girona. I actually did want to see that happen, actually. We did get, so we got Leipzig, Leverkusen, Milan, Lille, PSV, Bologna, and Girona. So we do have the names or the teams that we're going to be facing off against. Let's see if I can get all these down as well for you guys. We do have the names that we're going to be facing off against. I was trying to put them all in there for you. Going a little too fast for me. So it looks like we will be seeing Real Madrid, Leipzig away, Leverkusen, We're also going to be seeing. That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be an interesting game. I get, and MK2, I'll get a little bit more into how this all breaks down too. I get that it's a little bit difficult to kind of like get an idea of how it all breaks down, but we basically it's basically a how you put it, it's just basically a league format, but so Real Madrid, Leverkusen, then we have AC Milan, then we have Lille, we have PSV, and then we have Bologna and Girona. Okay. Now we're going to get into pot 2. So I'm going to show you the teams that we did end up drawing as well. They're getting into pot 2 for this. And again, it is, you're right. I can understand some of the kind of like confusion as to how this all works, because like, again, I thought it was going to break down where you would have gotten the opportunity to kind of let's go and deal with the teams that you really wanted to like, or just they'll just pick from pot 1, pick 2 from pot 2, pick 2 from pot 3, pick 2 from pot 4, done and done. That would have been the fairest way to possibly do it, but that wasn't necessarily the case. Because it ended up being that we ended up getting some of the I wouldn't say easier run, but we definitely got a decent run of names that we're gonna have to look at. Here is what we ended up getting as well. Make sure that I show this for you guys. Also I want to make sure I didn't misspell Leverkusen. I definitely spelled Leo right. Bologna, Girona, PSV, AC Milan, Leipzig, and Real Madrid. Okay. I'll show you what our draw looks like, people. This is what our draw looks like. Our draw looks like this. Our draw looks like this. Our draw looks like this. Oh, JK's with us too, by the way. I'll bring JK in.
Bless, bro.
Big up, JK.
How you doing?
Good. We are live and direct, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And we are in the middle, I guess, of this. It is different how these things are getting drawn out or how they're going about the draw. I understand it's a league process. Brian kind of went in through the process yesterday. There was a little bit of something I brought up that Brian didn't agree with, but I wanted to make sure that I made the reason why I brought up the point about there being. He kept saying there's 8 games, which there are, but there are. I was saying how there's a possible of 10 games that you can play, and the reason why there are 10 games, and this is just a little addition to what Brian was talking on yesterday, is that there's 2. If you don't make the top, if you don't make it into the top groups, or you don't make it into the top group of the qualifiers, then what happens is you still get an opportunity to get into a playoff to get into the knockout stages. So that's the additional. That's an home and away fixture, by the way, if you don't make it. So there's like a lot of different little like switches and changes and things to get used to now that we have this new process going on. Again, they're into pot 2 now. And again, this is you got this. I don't know if you're watching this live or not. KK. But Cristiano Ronaldo looks so disinterested in his involvement in. He knows.
Yeah, he said, "Yeah, I'm not taking part." That little face.
He's just like, man.
Why
can't
I wish I was
after
still
giving
doing
me
it.
my award, why couldn't I just walk off the stage?
I bet there's part of him that wishes that he was still involved in like domestic European sort of leagues and stuff. 100%.
I think you're absolutely right about that. He mentioned it something like that because the president kind of like made a comment, and he was kind of like, and the comment made him. He was kind of like, oh well, maybe who knows what the future holds. I'm like, I do, not you, probably not you in one. Probably not you in one of these Champions League formats anymore, bro. Especially when Manchester, what you did with Manchester United.
Man United are not even involved. What I was thinking as soon as I heard the news, they're going to restructure the Champions League. I've been sort of against it. This is the first time I've looked at a Champions League draw, not knowing what the fuck's going on. Like it's crazy,
isn't it?
It's crazy. I always say that if it's not broke, why you need to fix it? For me, the Champions League is a beautiful thing.
Yeah. And they're ruining it. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, they just ruin it. Back in the days, if you was the champions of your country, you're the only team that's going to the Champions League.
Yeah. There used to be a lot. It used to be more intense. It used to be just the champions got there, and then they expanded it and made it into like the top 2, the top 3, the top 4.
Yep.
And now even to the point where it's the top 5.
It's
big up to Arsenal, making it to pot 2 with your big time coefficient. Arsenal, the team that always likes to talk about they're at some higher stage or level than us.
Back in the days, they're not even participation champions. Like they're not even the Champions League winners. Or European Cup. They've only sort of participated in the last few years again.
I know.
That's how poor they are. That's their pedigree.
Yeah. No, Marion. No, you're.
Big up, Marion.
Yeah, big up, Marion. You're far from dumb. You're far from dumb. Because this is not an easy process to understand. I get that. But as they break it down, so what happens now is, again, I would have done this process a lot different. I mean, like personally, I understand why you're saying what you're saying. Like, it's kind of weird. Like, it's a computer making the picks. It's not like it's a random person just pulling. It was kind of like, at least you kind of felt like there was some randomness to it. I mean, I get computer is random technically, but
that's what they tell us.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, exactly.
That's what they tell us. Come on.
But like now, like it's just basically you pick the name of the team, you push the button, and then you find out. Computers, it could be rigged. MK Toe, you're right about that.
Big time. Yeah. But they came out with that thing. If they did it by hand, it would take like 100 years.
Yeah, exactly.
They came out that cliche straight away. I thought, as soon as I heard that, I thought, you know what? I don't want no computer involved in the draw. It's just ridiculous.
Well, yeah. And also, what's funny about it is, what's funny about the way that they're breaking it down is like when they hit the button and you do get the computer stuff, okay, we know our draw. So like what's funny about this is that unless you have most of the times you want the biggest fan bases to watch your program, right? And this is just like this is from a perspective of trying to draw attention and draw fan appeal. This is all I'm asking. This is all I'm saying from a perspective of that. If I'm Paramount or I'm whatever Sky or whoever's hosting this over in Europe, I'm kind of mad because all the big teams already know who they got. So you might have just turned off the TV at this point. You already know the teams that you've gotten. You don't have to worry about the later teams in the bottom pot or pot 4. Those teams are kind of like are the teams that have the smaller fan bases. They're the ones that haven't gotten their schedules yet, So
at least I know we've got Leverkusen and Real Madrid.
Right.
You know,
What do you
so
guys think in the chat too? I was just about to ask you that too, by the way. What do you feel? How do you feel about this draw for us? I put it on the screen if you can see it. Hopefully you out there can see it as well. If not, I can make it. Actually, you know what? I can make it bigger for you guys here. I'll bring it full screen. So this is the actual draw for us. I put our home games on the left, and I put our away games on the right. We're going to be facing Real Madrid at home. We're going to be hosting. It's going to be this is must-see TV for us. Xabi Alonso is going to be making a return. We didn't get to see him in Europa, but it looks like we're going to see him in Champions League. So he's going to be making a return to Anfield, bringing Bayern Leverkusen. We're going to see Lille and Bologna, the Italian team. And then we travel to Leipzig, which should be a good and interesting trip to Germany. Excuse me, to Germany.
Yeah,
and then
Germany,
and then AC Milan.
Mm-hmm.
We get to book our Italian passport and bring our new Italian brethren in red with us to AC Milan. Always one of the most, certainly one of the most historic locations to go to when you talk about going to Italy. And then we get to go to Holland to face off against PSV. And then we get to go to, we don't have to face off against City, but we get to face off against City's
stepsister.
Yeah, stepsister, I guess, or whatever, redheaded stepsister. Girona in Spain, and hopefully give them a beat down. What are you guys feeling about these teams? What are you guys feeling about these teams? What are you feeling about these teams?
Yeah. For me, I'm happy that we got them teams at home, Real Madrid and Leverkusen. So that's cool. The away fixtures, Leipzig, maybe I could go. Milan, San Siro one time. I love that stadium. PSV is not far down the road, and then Girona. So for me, yeah, I'd rather take Real Madrid and Leverkusen at home. Yep.
Lille and PSV. And yes, we did basically get 2 and 2 and 2. I had put in my picks. Let me see how far off I was on getting the picks that I was hoping to get. I got Leipzig. I got Leipzig away. I got Girona. I asked for those 2 teams. I didn't get any of the home teams.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't get any of the home teams. And so I got like 2 out of 8, I think. I was hoping to get PSG, Atalanta, Celtic, Storm Graz, Leipzig. I was hoping we get Shakhtar. I was hoping we get Feyenoord for just the impact of the former coach versus former team, and then Girona. But
I'm actually happy with this draw than yours. I didn't want to go PSG. Yeah. So
you would have preferred what we actually have, what we're actually seeing right now? Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy sort of with that. I've been to Liverpool, Leipzig one time, and Darwin, I think he got 4 goals that day. It was his debut, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So I've seen it's a top stadium as well. So I'm pretty looking forward to that game. And for me, AC Milan is like my Italian team. I'm looking forward to that. I'm happy we didn't get like Shakhtar, PSG, them type of teams,
Right.
Yeah.
Let me see. I'm also, while you talk about that, I'm gonna add up what our coefficient ended up being, because I'm interested to see when I say I'm adding up the coefficients, people. What I mean by is like each team got a coefficient rating, and that usually grades how difficult the teams are that you're facing off against in a matter of words. Okay. There's some other factors that are brought into there, like as in the amount of actual Champions Leagues you've won and stuff like that that are brought into that number. But we got Real Madrid, we got Bayern Leverkusen. So we got the top team from pot 2. That's a tough one. Plus we got Real Madrid, who is one of our nemesis. Then we ended up getting Lille, which is middle of the pot for pot 3. So that's like 47 points. And then we ended up getting Bologna, which is, again, middle of the pot. So that's 18.056. So we ended up getting a coefficient of 291.056. And then we also got on the away games, we have a coefficient of, let me see. We got Leipzig, which is cool. We got our away. I was happy to see that our away game was against Leipzig. That's what I was hoping. I was hoping that if we're going to get the pot 1, if we were going to get a high ranking team from pot 1, I was hoping that it would be at least a game at Anfield, you know?
Yeah.
And then getting a away game against a pot 1 team, whether it was, I was hoping out of all the teams, it would have been Leipzig because I didn't want to get Barcelona because that's still a very difficult away game, away fixture. Dortmund, a very difficult away fixture. Not saying Leipzig isn't a difficult away fixture. I'm just saying Dortmund, we all know, you can speak to that, how difficult Dortmund is when it's facing them against the yellow wall, right? Is that what they call it, correct?
Yep.
So
I'd rather play Leipzig away than Dortmund away. Yeah.
Right, exactly. So we got Leipzig away. We end up getting AC Milan away, which is again a bottom of the pot. We got the bottom of the pot 2 coefficient team in AC Milan, which is again a good draw for pot 2. Then we ended up getting PSV, which is like the 3rd highest team in pot 3. But now we're in pot 3. These teams aren't necessarily the juggernauts of like the Celtics, Young Boys, Lille, Salzburg, Dynamo Zagreb. They're not exactly the juggernauts of the field. So that's 54. And then we ended up getting, again, Girona, middle of the pot. I still don't think, I think they're kind of showing their worth somewhat. So we got 227
okay.
for that number, 227.897. So not bad, actually, to be honest with you, if you really think about it. And the reason why I say it's not bad is because, like, look, the number that I had for total coefficient before this was 243 for our home games. If we're going to face the home games, I was trying to get some easy ones in there, but we got 291 as our coefficient for that. And we got 227. I know a lot of these numbers are probably going over some people's heads a little bit, because it is kind of a different way of putting it, you know what I mean? But why I'm putting it as those types of coefficients is because if you do look at it from that perspective, you can kind of gauge what our competition level is going to be. That's the reason why I have put in that variable into it.
I think the Real Madrid fixture sort of puts that straight up high, So for me, that is the ultimate fixer, Real Madrid. They're number 1 team, so we got them.
Yeah. It will be interesting. I think we're all done. You're right about this too. Maybe the reason why they did what they did was because they possibly did what they did because if they were taking out by the way I suggested, we would still be probably on pot 1, if not pot 2.
Yeah.
They're already on pot 4. They're already on pot 4. So yeah. Pot 4 is being selected right now.
And the amount of fixtures, wow. There's a lot of fixtures.
there's going to be a lot of fixtures. Certainly
Yeah.
are. It's going to be interesting how it breaks down now that we have our selections. I don't know. Again, to answer the question from earlier in the chat, I don't know if we're going to get our the scheduling for this today as well, since the teams have been announced.
Yeah, when and where, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's complicated. Like the guys who are organizing all this, you know, I bet they're really nervous that it didn't sort of mess up with the computers or whatever it is. I bet they're really nervous for it to run really smooth. Overcomplicating football again. I believe
Absolutely.
like VAR.
Absolutely.
They're overcomplicating. Why do humans do that? Why do humans? Why do they do it? You know, overcomplicating something that don't really need it. You know, I was happy with the 4 in a group sort of situation.
Yeah.
You know, 6 games, job done.
Yeah.
Get out, top 2 go through, bottom 2, maybe the top high 3 was it third finishers that go into a playoff or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And I feel like
well, you know what? You know what? Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Finish.
Now I was just going to say, like Virgil, how many games is that guy going to be playing? You know,
I was also going to add the fact that, you know what, they have eliminated though is now there's no, oh, you got eliminated from Champions League, now you get to go to Europa.
Mm-hmm.
That's no longer a part of this. I think that's an interesting little bit of a, you know, turn of the wrench when it comes to how they're actually producing this, because I know everyone's or a good majority of the people's opinions on the Super League and the impact of what it had on the football community. And I also know how or why I am bringing up that dreaded 2 words was because of the Super League. They were bound to create something like this to get as close to a Super League as possible to appease some of these bigger teams from being tempted to do what they just did, you know, not too long ago. And that's a shame that we are at this point where they had to make that the case. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is a real shame. But
you know what? No one questions how football is being run from top to bottom. Like no one really can question it.
Yeah.
It's like we're doing this, we didn't give a fuck.
Yeah. I know. I mean, like I know I've mentioned that I was a former FIFA employee. I don't think I'm going to ever be a UEFA employee, so I can kind of speak a little bit more directly towards UEFA than I can for other and not be held to other standards for other entities out there. But yeah, it a lot of these, you're right about it. I didn't understand a lot of what they were doing with this, and when they did bring out they did the pre-hype for it. When they brought up the pre-hype for the actual league and how they're going to make it, they actually made it into a script. They kept talking about the script, read the script, you know, and they kept about the script. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, hey, we all get it that you're doing this whole thing. Villa just got picked. Villa's about to get their run. There's another Premier League team that is getting this, that is going to be shown. It's been a long time since Villa's been in the Champions League. And Villa has a very favorable, I think a very favorable, they have a very favorable schedule, to be honest with you. They could make it out of group. They could make it out of this league stage. I guess I got to get used to not saying group stage anymore.
Yeah, but I like that word, group stage. That was cool.
Yeah,
group stage. It sounded good.
Yeah,
leagues just sounds horrible.
Yeah,
man. What are these guys doing? It's about time football fans, it don't matter who you support, Man United, Arsenal, Liverpool, whatever, get together and sort this football situation out. Like players getting overplayed. It's going to cost us domestically in the league, you know. So yeah, man, football.
I
They're
agree
just
that it is
making
pretty
it worse.
bad. It is pretty bad with the number of games that we have to face off and look at and see these teams compete against. That is true. I agree with that completely. I agree with that completely. Sturmgratz is the final team, I believe. That is the final team from Pot 4.
From Austria, yep.
Yep. We have completed the draw. The draw is now complete. Let me see what the chat's saying here. Are there 2 teams from each pot? Yes, MK told there are 2 teams. There are no easy teams. Absolutely. If you make it to Champions League, there's no easy teams. Even the teams that are in pot 4 are difficult for their own unique reasons. I think whether it's the stadium that you're going to,
the fans,
the fans, whether it's the environment that you're going to, meaning like the time of year that you're going there, like as in what the climate's going to be. It could be something as simple as like the altitude or something like that, simple things like that do have an impact on a lot of what you see when it comes to these games. So there are no walkovers. I was hoping to get some other I was hoping to get some other names simply because I would have liked to have seen some of those other teams for box office reasons, I guess you could say, more so than not.
Yep. Yeah, but like Real Madrid and AC Milan, they're the 2 biggest teams in European football, and we got them. Yeah. So I'm actually happy we got Real Madrid in a weird way. I want to play them and beat them.
I would love to beat them.
You get me? So that's one game I'm really looking forward to.
That game is going to. I think that's possibly the biggest game
of the league.
That could be the biggest game for us, certainly, but possibly the biggest game in Champions League right now.
I think so. 100%.
Yeah, because we know that we have something that we definitely have something to make up for. We know that there's no return fixture. So it's all or nothing against Real Madrid right now. If we don't want to have to see them, later on in the competition, it's take care of business now. Give them an L and make them have to work towards, getting to that group's to that knockout stage.
Like when you look at it, like Real Madrid, the most successful Champions League European Cup winners from Spain, AC Milan from Italy, and us from England. So there you go. That's box office.
Yeah.
That's box office.
Yes. Big up. I am happy about Chiesa too. Like as in, we all know that Italians have had a checkered past with Liverpool as being phenoms and standouts, but I think that Chiesa has certainly I would say a more vested chance of getting a real run at making a real presence. I also see JK's got I believe that's the logo. I saw the thumbnail. I'm excited to see it too for Frank's show today.
That's welcome, but in Italian, al come.
Okay. There you go.
Let's bet that up.
That's cool.
But that's the bit.
Do you speak Italian by any chance?
No. I understand a few words and stuff, but not really, no.
Okay. I know that you speak multiple languages. That's the only reason I was asking. But yes, it is something. I don't hopefully we gotta I'm sure that Frank and his connections will probably hook something up, but hopefully Frank is a part of the welcoming committee for Riesa. I'm sure Frank knows of some of the better or I should say some of the best places to get some Italian food, so hopefully in Liverpool. So hopefully he can find or pass that bit of knowledge on to him, or maybe do what all Italians do, at least in America here, is give them a true, if you want a true Italian true Italian welcome, you go to someone's home, they invite you in, and one of the things I do love about the Italian culture is that you will be fed. Exactly. You will not leave hungry. You will not leave an Italian home hungry. So,
and they love cooking as well at the same time. That's what I love about people, when they cook and they love cooking.
Oh, absolutely.
They're like people who cook and they got a sad face, man. Like, why are you cooking for?
Yeah. That is for sure. That is for sure.
They should have picked Frank up before they picked him up from the airport, make him feel at home,
Yeah, they should have. They should have. You gotta be sure to tell him that when tell him I was saying that, because I'll be disappointed if they didn't. I'll be disappointed if they didn't. I know he doesn't like FSG, but I'll send FSG a memo to make sure that he's a part of the welcome committee. How about that? That makes it any
we'll
easier.
Do that for Frank. But tell you the truth, bro, a proper surprise signing for me. This is what I mean, like Andre, the guy who we were meant to be after for like 2 years, he's going to sign for Wolves. He's going to sign for Wolves. So like, who came up with this Chiesa news? Not one person. Not one person.
Right. I mean, if it was if this was 2022 or 2021, the Chiesa, that was those were rumors back then.
Yeah, back then.
You know what I mean? Those were the rumors back then, but also that was Chiesa at a different point in his career. That was Chiesa when exactly. That was Chiesa also when when a lot of Italian players were not choosing England as a destination. Sure. Say what you will about the Italian league, but the glory of the Italian league was certainly more so decades ago. Let's put it that way. Not saying that there aren't talented teams in the Italian league. Not saying that at all. There's talented players. There's talented teams. But I'm saying that the Italian league was the destination spot back during 90s, R9 years, or the Maradona, those years. That was when it was like the rave to go to.
Yep.
It kind of filtered out once the other leagues started to make their presence known more so and pay, and especially when the money started going more so towards them.
Yeah.
But yes, number 14, by the way. Number 14. You're cool. You're cool with. Are you cool with? Let me see if I can bring this up for you. Are you cool with them having the number 14 kit?
Yeah. Okay, he's on 14. I like 14. That's cool.
I mean, we all know that as the number 14 was worn by another individual, the captain for our team.
So, okay.
So I mean, it's big shoes to fill.
but for me, as long as he stays fit, that's the main thing. If he stays fit, and I'm not really I haven't got high expectations, So, if he's involved for Sunday, whoa! Imagine that he's ready to be sitting on the bench. That'd be good.
Yeah. We are going to be doing a lead-in for that game. Chances are I won't be going to my my supporter pub this weekend, primarily because when we have the big games like Manchester United, everyone shows up. You know what I mean? Yeah. Everyone shows up. Big up to Lee, by the way. Big up, Lee. How you doing, Lee?
Well, right, chaps. I forgot all about the draw. I forgot it was happening today.
It's all good. Oh man. I know Bernadette just made up a new invention, by the way. Maybe Lee, you can help us out with the creation of it. But what would be a Scout's pizza? What is the preferred pizza? A Scout's pizza? What would be? Because for instance, here in America, you have like Detroit pizza, or you have Chicago pizza, right? You have New York pizza, right? We have pizzas that are solidified with the cities that they represent. So in Chicago, it's a deep dish pizza, you know. So you get what I'm going with. What would be what would be the Scouse pizza?
Maybe, you know what Scouse is? It's like Scouse is like a stew. So if you took like the potatoes out and just left some of the meat, some of the choicer ingredients of the Scouse, but got rid of all the spuds and that, maybe you could make a Scouse pizza, an actual pizza with a topping that's sort of like a watered down version of Scouse, like, you know.
I know, Bernie's kind of putting you on blast a little bit because it doesn't sound that appetizing.
No, it sounds weird, doesn't
it? Basically stewed beef and potatoes on a pizza.
Doesn't sound too tempting, does it?
Doesn't sound too appetizing.
What else is in Scouse? There's like carrots, potatoes, minced. It's like minced beef, you know, ground.
I got you.
Whatever,
I got you.
That's
I think you can leave the carrots out too.
You could keep the onions. Maybe some people like onions on pizzas. Onions is in Scouse.
There you go. You can get the onions. Onions we can go with.
Yeah. You could have a veggie pizza with the veggie elements of Scouse, like celery, and all that stuff. Like.
Maybe a Scouse pizza is just so you just said so you said that you'd like it's like a stew, right? It's like basically a stew, right? Maybe you get a pizza and you can dip the pizza in the stew. Maybe that'll work.
Yeah, like a dip.
Yeah, maybe that'll work out. I don't know.
You know what? I reckon someone needs to design a Scouse pizza. It's there.
The thing with Scouse, it's any dish of that nature. It's all in the making of it. You know, the ingredients that like a certain person would have. Like one grandmother's Scouse tasted totally different to me. Other nan's Scouse has a totally different taste to it.
Yep, exactly. That's the same with Indian food, man. Everyone's chicken curry tastes different. You know,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
We can call it the Scouse dip. The Scouse dip. How about that? You heard it here first. You heard it here first.
You heard it here first, man.
You heard it here first.
I forgot all about the draw. Dip. I forgot like the new extended draw was happening, that we're having like there's all more teams and that wasn't there.
Yeah. Did you not see? Okay, so I'll bring it up for.
Do you know who we got, Lee?
No, not yet.
Okay. Surprise. Get ready for this one then, yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Get ready.
So I'm gonna bring this up for you, Lee. Here's what we have again. So if you're at home and you're hungry, maybe get your pizza and your Scouse stew, and dip away to this. We are
Real Madrid, hey?
Real Madrid, bro.
We got Real Madrid at home. Then we travel to Leipzig. Then we have Leverkusen at home. Then we have AC Milan away. We have Lille at home. We have PSV away. We have Bologna home and Girona away.
So the tough teams at the start.
That's there's some good sides there, isn't there? There's a few sides we should beat, like PSV, we should beat Bologna, we should beat Girona, we should beat Lille, we should beat Leverkusen, Madrid, even Milan won't be easy because Milan have got a certain Champions League pedigree, and that doesn't always translate into the. Last time we played them, they weren't very good, but they're never easy. It's not easy to like play Milan in the Champions League.
No, it's not. It's not.
And it's a good draw. It's an enticing draw to have Real Madrid, Leverkusen. Have the shabby thing with Leverkusen. The the history of Madrid and Milan makes it nice. Even, PSV's a former winner of the competition as well.
Yeah. I think, let's be honest, Leverkusen's going to be I think they were on the show, on the after show, or the post show where they give their reactions on this side of the pond at least. They showed some of the big games, the most notable games. They brought up like 8 of the most notable games, and 2 of them were Liverpool. Obviously, that would be obvious that we would be involved in them with our name alone. But
how does it work? How does it work out in terms of the timetable when these extra games are played? Because we used to only have them like 6 games, aren't we? 4 teams in a group, 6 games, but now we've got 8 games. So when are the extra 2 being played? Are they going to be played later on? Sort of like it usually. When does it usually stop? Champions League, is it like early December, and then it comes back in February usually, doesn't it?
Yeah, like it comes back in February, but it also. I want to say it started I thought it was maybe at the end of November. I thought, but it's like December, November at least. You're right about that. Is when you start to see the fixtures roll in. It's going to be weird because of the way that they have the international breaks lined up as well. It's going to probably impact.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us weren't expecting to have an international break so early in. We're already in week 3, and we're about to have an international break come up next week.
What I don't like about having more international fixtures is that it's putting the squeeze on domestic football associations to scrap replays, to maybe even scrap the second cup, because a lot of other nations don't have a second domestic cup like we do. They just have the 1 cup. Some do. Some have 2 cups like us, but many don't. And there's pressure on the Carabao Cup now, and on replays in any domestic cup, FA or Carabao. There's pressure now to drop these things, and they're a big thing for smaller clubs to survive, getting replays in cup competitions. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Like the way football's changing in that way, because it's pushing the smaller clubs further away. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it'll be interesting where these fixtures meet us where they meet us with also our Prem games. We just got also our League Cup game was announced today too, as well. I don't know if you guys knew that or not.
West Ham, is it?
Yes.
Yeah, I caught that. West Ham, yeah.
And it's home, fortunately.
As far as I remember, we played that West Ham last season in the Carabao, didn't we?
Yeah, it's a home game. It's a home game. Yeah, that's going to be.
As I recall, we beat them at Anfield to knock them out, didn't we?
Yeah, yep. But it's for a 3rd round fixture, that is certainly something to deal with.
Yeah.
Early on to be meeting another Prem team, is
like Man City, United, Arsenal all got easy ties, and Chelsea.
Say again?
Man City, Chelsea, Arsenal, and United all got easy ties.
Yeah. Oh, of course, though. Man City always gets easy ties. It seems like Man City.
We always do the hard way, Liverpool.
I remember Man City getting to the final of the Carabao a few seasons ago without actually playing a Premier League team. They got all the way without playing a Premier League team.
Yeah. Just showing some of the fixtures still going on in the background here for myself. Still talking about how it is done. Automated software will assign opponents for each club. Each club will be drawn 2 opponents from each pot, home and away. 36 clubs seeded into 4 pots. Yep. We all know that, and we've all seen the process been unfolded. And some of us are still not exactly that happy about it, but it is what it is. It's
What I
cool.
liked about Klopp was always calling out the extra fixtures, mainly the international ones, but it's both. They're making more fixtures all the time and not thinking about the players' welfare. Now, I don't really care that much about the players' welfare, but I want to see good football. And if you have too many games, the quality of the football you see
Yeah,
suffers. You
true.
won't see as good games.
They got
Yeah.
bloody Nations League as well. The squads came out today. England's like Nations League. Come on, man. Like, what? Just call them friendlies, you know?
Yeah.
I guess you can't really call it the group of death anymore. But I guess you call it the schedule of death. I don't know what you would call it now, I guess. You know? But
call
who
it.
do you think got the hardest schedule out of all the teams then? That's the real question. I'd have to see.
Could you put up the like Man City Arsenal tables? Could you do that?
Sure. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna
Okay.
give me 1 second. I'll get a I'll get a complete scheduling for it. Give me 1 second.
And hopefully there's enough screen space to do it.
I know, right?
Yo,
Right?
I seen the pot 3 fixtures. I was like, oh my days, how many games is that there? It was mad. They're gonna be playing Thursday and Friday as well. Watch. I hope not. I hope they don't like sort of switch it to a Thursday as well. You know, for me, traditionally Tuesday, Wednesday is the days. You know.
Mm-hmm. Give me a second. I'm gonna pull it up here. They should have all the results. Yeah, because I mean, City got Inter, PSG, Club Brugge, Juventus, Feyenoord, Sporting CP, Sparta Praha, and they got Slovan Bratislava.
But yeah, pretty tricky.
I
then.
think they've got a very, very easy, certainly an easier route towards getting there. Oh wow, this is not going to be an easy one to do. Holy crap, there's a lot to go through. But all right, I'll do my best to show this because there's a lot of teams to go through. People, a lot of teams. So I guess what we could just do though is I'll just try to stay with the top teams, I guess, to show their routes. But let me show you this. Hold on 1 second. Let me make it. Let me make this a little. I'm gonna make this as big as possible too, so that we can get a really good view of it. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I didn't really think that Chiesa deal would happen, so I'm pleased that we've actually got something done. You know, it's something, isn't it? It may not be the name that was on everybody's lips like a month ago, but signing, isn't it? And we've got the keeper as well. So we have, we've done some business, haven't we?
I think we've done good business, to be honest with you. We've done good business in that we got something done. I mean, like, look, you say what you want, but I get that people have other portions of the field or the pitch that they were concerned about getting replacements or if not reinforcements towards. But I think that one of the positions that we've needed, one of the positions that might be vacant if he chooses to leave at the end of the year, is the right wing. And we need a real solution to be right wing. And I don't want to see us not have sufficient cover for Mo Salah when we need it. I know we're not going to necessarily have to worry about AFCON this year, but having
just look what happened last season when Mo was out. Jota and Nunes were out at the same time, and that went on for ages. Where we only had Gakpo and Diaz with our 2 fit forwards. That went on for about 6 or 7 weeks, where we only had Gakpo and Diaz. So having another forward can't do no harm, can it?
Yeah, that's exactly how I look at it. All right, so this is how we're going to go through it. Let's go through these teams real quick. These are the the draws for each of the top 8 teams. I have all the teams, but let's just go through the top 8. That's the ones that we're really concerned about. Those are the ones in the top coefficient. Real Madrid have the home obviously is marked by having a little house. The away fixture is the ones that have the blue airplane leaving. So they have Dortmund, they have Salzburg, Lille, Stuttgart, Brest, Atalanta, Milan, and Liverpool. Not an overwhelming. They should easily get past there. I mean, the only teams that will give them any bit of a run will be us. Us and Atalanta will give them probably a run for their money. And Dortmund won't be a walkover, but I don't think that they're going to. They'll lose to them. Man City. This is Man City's draw. They have Inter. They have Paris, Club Brugge, Juventus, Feyenoord, Sporting CP, Sparta Praha, and Bratislava. Like I said earlier, Inter's going to be a tough matchup for City. Let's not get it twisted. PSG should be interesting. Juventus. Maybe I should have. Maybe I could have reckoned. That's not that bad. They'll get through their games, but still, there should be some interesting ones. They got lucky by having Inter at home. I think they definitely get lucky by having Inter at home. If Man City had to go face Inter away, I think it would have been a major difference. But they will have to go face the old lady away, which would be interesting. Bayern Munich has PSG, Barcelona, Benfica, Shakhtar, Dynamo, GNK, Dynamo, Feyenoord, Bratislava, and Villa. How do you feel about that? Does that seem like
tricky?
Could be tricky.
Sort of tricky. Paris, Barca, Villa, even. Yeah, man.
I agree. Got
and all away. Oh no, actually, Paris at home. Okay.
Well, Barcelona's away. I think don't get it twisted. Shakhtar faced up against some good competition in the Champions League last year, and they did well. In their group stage. Villa again away.
Which Dynamo club is that? GNK Dynamo? Because there's a few Dynamos. Which one is it?
It's the Russian. They're the Russian one, but I'll tell you which one it is. Hold on a second.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Dynamo is that's based GNK Dynamo is. I want to say that's Dynamo Zagreb, right? Yeah, it is. So that's Dynamo Zagreb. It's actually not Russian; they're Croatian. Actually.
Okay, so it's Zagreb, yeah, Dynamo Zagreb. Okay.
So they're Croatian. They're based in Zagreb.
Yeah, Bratislava are Slovak, aren't they? They're the Slovak champions, Slovan Bratislava.
Yep. So then moving on to PSG. PSG has Man City at home. They have Bayern Munich away. They have Atletico.
Whoa.
That's gonna be they have a tough schedule.
Whoa. That is rough.
They have Emirates away. Then they have PSV at home. They have Salzburg away, Girona home, and then Stuttgart away. That's a tough schedule.
That is mad.
That's a tough schedule.
Look at that schedule there, man. That's the worst draw you can ever expect.
Yeah.
Man City, Bayern, them two. Then you got Atletico and Arsenal. Wow.
Yep.
Our draw's looking pretty all right then, actually, when you look at that.
Yeah, I mean, all things considered, we're looking a lot better than I thought. Let's see. Obviously, this is our schedule. We've gone over it somewhat at length, but again, Real Madrid, Lille at home, Leverkusen at home, Bologna at home, but then we have Leipzig, PSV, Girona, and Milan. All are away games. I think all winnable fixtures. Big up, Norm. Big up, Norm.
Bless Norman.
Very interesting. Forest made a bid, and we turned them down. Okay, Norm. I did not see that. I do have some updates to bring up after this in a sec. But thank you, Norm, for that update. Big up, and big up to Roster Crab in the house. The streets have arrived, people. The streets have arrived.
Bless Brian as well.
Yeah, of course, Brian, all day, every day.
Easy, right?
Inter, Leipzig at home. I'm trying to go. Zvezda at home, and then they have Arsenal. They have Monaco at home. Inter has Man City on the road, Young Boys on the road, Leverkusen on the road, and they go to Prague as their other game on the road.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Not
tricky as well.
Yeah, look, there's not a pushover schedule. Not a pushover schedule. Roster Crab, real quick. This is our schedule, by the way. That's our schedule, by the way, for you. And then I already did Inter, Dortmund. This is Dortmund squad. Our schedule: Barcelona home, Real Madrid away. That's tough. Shakhtar at home, Club Brugge away, Celtic at home. Celtic's going to have a tough run. They got Dynamo away, Storm Graz home, and then Bologna away. Yup, Roster Crab. We have Madrid at home. We have redemption on our minds, brothers and sisters. Redemption. I think Dortmund's schedule does not look that difficult. Two big games, obviously, against the two La Liga juggernauts in Barcelona and Real Madrid. But other than that, they should be able to really make a run for it.
Yeah, they should get out of that, shouldn't they? Like Dortmund, they should progress.
More like repetition. There you go. Yeah, as long as it's no repetition for us, brother. Leipzig has us at home, and then Leipzig has Inter, Juventus home. They have Villa at home, Sporting at home, Celtic away, Atletico Madrid away, and Sturm Graz. Looking at that schedule, Leipzig, they could get away with winning the majority of their games. They're not going to win. They're not going to fly through. Obviously,
no, it's a bit tricky.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit tricky. A couple of games. Barcelona has Bayern Munich, Dortmund, Atalanta, Benfica, Young Boys, Zvezda, Brest, and Monaco. Barcelona, this is going to be interesting for Barcelona. They have obviously the new coach, but they're also going to have to take on the real confines of making some progress in league while also holding down Champions League again. It's not a guarantee for them this year, especially with now a couple of the injuries that they've sustained. I don't know. Morin was not a fan of the draw. Yeah, I got you on that. I definitely got you on that.
No.
That's why you got to watch it here live. Watch this channel live. Then that way you don't have to deal with that. We can just report it live to you, so you don't have to deal with their BS. Leverkusen. This is now getting into pot two. Inter, Liverpool, Yeah, I don't know. So wait, so I guess out of all these teams, this is now pot 2. I think. Let me get down to
It was really obvious we were going to play Leverkusen at some stage. Wasn't it? Like we get drawn against Leverkusen.
Yeah.
After what happened with Xavi.
Yeah, it was kind of fitting that we got that.
It'll be a good matchup, like see him and Slot against each other, like see who comes out on top. That'll be interesting to see, the manager we could have had against the manager we have got.
Yeah. This was Arsenal. Since Arsenal wasn't in pot 1, they're in pot 2, by the way. Key on that to you Gooners or Gunners, however you want to say it.
It's a big thing for their pride, Arsenal, to be able to get further in the Champions League. I mean, where did they get last season? Quarters. They got to the quarters, didn't they?
Yeah.
Before Bayern took care of them. Yeah. It's not really their specialty, is it? Like going far in the Champions League. But
what is their specialty,
Yeah, quarters is about their level, like their all-time high. Like in that quarters, really, they've had quite a few quarters.
Yeah, I just looking at what Norm was saying. It's crazy that they're doing that, but it's all good.
Good to see names like Girona and Stuttgart having a go for the change. You know what I mean? Because I haven't seen Girona in the Champions League or Stuttgart. I don't think I've ever seen either of them two in the Champions League. Or maybe I might have once. I don't think so though. Either of them teams. So it's good to have them in there.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah. Even though YouTube is not apparently giving out our notifications for it, definitely hit your all notifications bell if you can, so that when we do go live, you do know to join us. And despite YouTube's attempts, they don't understand that we fly in the liver bird, so we fly high. There's no bringing us down, So
they didn't have a good season last year, didn't they, Girona? They did really well last year, didn't they, in the Liga?
Yeah, so this was Arsenal's draw. They got Paris, they got PSG, Inter, Shakhtar, Atalanta, Dynamo, Sporting CP, Monaco, and Girona. I think that, to be honest with you, that's not an easy fixture. I'm not saying that just because it's Arsenal fixture list. I think Shakhtar is going to do better than a lot of people give them credit for. Atalanta, we all know what Atalanta can do. And Inter, they got Inter away. And they go their trip to Italy. They go to Italy twice and they face two of the more difficult teams in Italy. That's not going to be easy. That's not going to be easy for them. The PSG,
Monaco not a bad side.
Yeah, Monaco's not that bad. But Sporting CP, it won't be an easy trip to Portugal as well for them. So yeah, that's going to be interesting for them, I think. But again, I don't really care about Arsenal like that, so we'll move on from them. What was the group that you thought was or not the group, but what is the team that you think has the hardest run? What do you guys think in the chat too, by the way? Who do you think has the hardest fixture list on
PSG, bro? PSG.
Oh,
it's horrible. Look at that. That is horrible.
Yeah, they're a club I like to see fail in the Champions League. Yes, yeah.
And them top four fixtures, tough.
Yeah, PSG does not have an easy run. They do not have an easy run. So, again, this is our fixture. I'm happy to say that, hey, we are going to be back in Champions League once again. So, that is what it is. Oh, there was some updates. Do you guys want to stick around for like a few minutes here? Like, I won't take much longer, probably not 15, 20 minutes. But if you guys got time, I can go into some Liverpool news since we got a good group of people here. We can go into some Liverpool news if you guys want.
Did you say Forest had made a bid for somebody?
Forest made a bid. Norm brought it up. Forest made a bid for Kelleher.
Oh.
And ended up we turned down the bid. Most likely it wasn't for the number that we have.
Yeah.
I do have some updates. Yeah, I do. Red for Life. Do have some updates. Because let me just get this situated for you guys.
Bless Ian and Bernadette. Yeah.
Some of the updates that we have are obviously Barcelona have made a late £4 million loan offer to Liverpool with a £30 million option to buy for Stefan Bajcetic. I know that was announced yesterday. Liverpool would get a 20% sell on. Liverpool would also have a £70 million buyback option. Bajcetic, though, is on the verge of RB Salzburg and was set for a medical, but Barcelona, having entered the race, have kind of, put that on a little bit of a pause. But I think that we can also say that it's looking more likely that he will be going on to possibly Salzburg. There was some rumors out there that let me put this graphic up. There was some rumors out there that Darwin Nunez was on the outs. And let me say this, that rumor has been basically squashed. Darwin Nunez is very happy to be at Liverpool. He's very happy with our current coach, Arne Slot. He's happy with the direction of the team. He's happy with his place in the team. And he's looking to make a concerted effort in making contributions and solidifying his place with the team as our number 9. He has absolutely, this is reported by Fabrizio Romano. Darwin Nunez is absolutely not planning to leave Liverpool this summer nor this campaign at all. The striker is really focused and really happy with Arne Slot. I'm sure Marion likes to hear that.
Me too,
he
bro.
knows fans like him, mate. He knows us fans like him, and that. And he's just got to start being a bit more consistent, as well.
Yeah, but you know what it is, though. You know what? Like, the fans love the guy, and I think that makes him want to stay. I would hate for him to go and play for Arsenal or Chelsea.
He knows it's a good fan base for becoming a cult hero and a hero and all that. Like he's definitely still got the skill and that. We just need him to calm down a bit, don't we, in front of goal? He's snatching at things, wasn't he, last season? And he got desperate. And in the end, it was better having him out the team because he got so desperate after a while when he wasn't scoring. But he's still got the tools that the tools needed to be a top centre forward in the Premier League.
You know what I was going to say is it was somewhat reminiscent to, this is my personal opinion, it was somewhat reminiscent to Cody's run. For a little while, it seemed like Cody was reaching rather than just allowing for the game to come to him,
Exactly.
And sometimes when you're in that realm, especially when you're the number 9, and we were playing Cody as our 9 at times as well, you start to you get a little bit uncomfortable. You get a little. It's like you not allowing the game to come to you. It just doesn't come natural. And I'm not saying that they can't allow for it. It's just you feel rushed, I think, or something along those lines.
What it is, bro? Them type of players are the ones who are not regular starters, and they're trying to be a regular starter. So when they get their chance to over try too hard, And that sort of Russell's like Gravenberch, for example. Every time he got a chance last season, he wasn't like as calm as he has been in the last 2 games, for example. You know, so for me, that's what that is. Trying too hard syndrome happens to a lot of players.
Yeah. That's exactly like, guys. And sometimes you got to just let the game come to you naturally, rather than chase it. You know, and once you get your rhythm, everything comes that much easier. And there are times when you can see, like, because Cody's a pretty accurate shooter, for instance, and like during that little bit of a run when he just got injured, he's trying to find his form. He has the pressure of knowing that he's not a guaranteed starter. So these opportunities are going to be, you know, I won't say far and in between, but aren't going to be as abundant. You find yourself kind of like, oh, I got to take the shot now. And then you miss it, and then it gets into your head. It's a little bit easier if you're like, you know, like a Salah knows, hey, I wake up tomorrow, I'm going to be starting. I'm going to play the full 90. I'm going to get all the shots, you know. It's a little easier. You have like, you know, it's a little bit easier on your mind and the run that you have. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's part of the territory for strikers, isn't it? That they have to deal with periods where they're not scoring as much, and they've got to try and like still play a good role in the side, even though that they're not scoring. And Darwin was getting a lot of assists, wasn't he? Even when his goals dried up, he was still getting assists and causing problems, wasn't he? He's not a ball with the defenders like coming up against, because he's always there, isn't he? He's challenging for everything.
Yeah. And that's the thing about it too, people. I know there are those that are very mindful about the end products of some of our strikers and the likes. You know, let me say this. One, Chiesa is a very, very talented player. Someone that I am excited to see join this club and this team. Now that we have a kit on his back, we all can breathe easy. There's no like second thoughts, you know. There's no surprise twist in this story, and there's an absolute chance now that we might see him at Old Toilet. So that's very optimistic, I know, but still, it's something that
Be good if he came on as a sub and had like an impact, like when the Newcastle away early last season, when he had that impact, scored them 2 goals.
Yeah,
Great if you could do that at Old Trafford.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome to have your debut goal at Old Toilet. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, like I'm gonna be honest with you guys, people. Look, I'll show you this right here. This is our front six. That is a very talented front six. Some could argue the most talented front six or forwards or 6 forward selections collectively in the league. You can make that argument.
Not too shabby, is it? That is a 6, like.
I mean, that's the honest truth. All love and respect to Ben Doak, but we've upgraded considerably over the young lad as he grows into himself and into into the player that he wants to become. But we now have a backup for every position on that front line. Period. We do. And you can say what you like, but I honestly think that we have, and it's not all just goal scorers. And hear me when I say this, and I know I'll probably get some pushback. I might even get clipped for this, so clip away. But what I'm trying to say is, you can have goal scorers, great. You can have out and right goal scorers. We all want goal scorers. I get that. But you need players that fill other roles on your team, as in controllers, being able to dribble and control the ball, being able to pass, being able to play, having someone that's able to play with their back to the goal, having someone that's able to take on players. You have to have all those components. Do we have any of those players that have, there's no unicorn player like that, where you have that player all in one embodiment. But to have players that have excellent talents makes a difference. So I'm very optimistic with how the balance of the team is going to really work out with each other. You understand what I'm saying? Like, do you get what I'm saying or no?
Yeah. If you look at that the top 3 players there, they started the 2 games, didn't they? But then you look at the other 2, Nunes flanked by Gakpo and Chiesa, and it's very good as well, isn't it? Like, it's also an excellent 3.
Yep. Yeah. And when you look at that, it just makes you happy. You're like, yeah, man, there's some talent there.
Yeah. Big up Asian Reds in the house, by the way. Big up Asian Reds. And big up to Ian. Big up Ian. Red for life.
I mean, Diaz, Jota, and Salah are already all on the score sheet, aren't they, after 2 games?
Yeah, the top 3 all scored, yeah.
Yeah, they have.
Now we need the other 3, yeah.
No, yeah. Oh, maybe. We do have another game coming up.
Oh, I think it's Man United, I heard.
I think so.
I think we're going to go with the top 3 for that game.
Yeah.
I think that's yeah. And maybe switch it up second half if needed. But it'll start with them 3 at the top.
Yeah.
And Diaz
I think it'll be, I wouldn't mind seeing that also with the state of the Red Devils back line, with the sheer fact that because we are going to control the ball a little bit more than we're used to controlling it, we might see the Red Devils have to use their legs a little bit more than us, when it comes to chasing. To have the likes of Darwin on the bench to come onto the team, onto the pitch, I should say, and be able to, hit that back line, have Cody as one of the another assassin, and then bring in the Italian assassin, the hitman, we can call him, to bring on Chiesa as well, possibly tomorrow or Sunday, excuse me. That's going to be fun. That's going to be a fun night, fun day to go through. And again, we're going to do a lead-in for that game. Most likely we'll do a lead-in and then we'll throw it over to I believe Beijing Reds are doing a watch-along. So we'll do a lead-in and then I'll most likely try to do a raid or do some type of bounce the coverage into to the Beijing Reds TV, so that they can so we can all join and watch the game together. I'm not going to go to my supporter pub on Sunday. Again, like I said, it's one of those cases where on the big games, everyone and their brother and their sister and their mother shows up pretty much. So it's difficult to get a seat, and it's just it's a fun vibe, but it's just sometimes it gets packed in there. A lot of people show up. A lot of people show up. We even have sometimes some Red Devils trying to show up and pretend like they want to be cordial. No, there's another bar for that. Go there.
Yeah, go there, yeah.
It's way down the street. Go down there. But big up.
In the US, bro, which sport clubs are the most sort of popular? You got it's either United, Liverpool, and Arsenal, isn't it?
I would say, you know what? I would honestly say it goes Liverpool, United, Arsenal, and surprisingly so, Spurs are very popular in America. I would say Spurs possibly get that 4th spot.
Yeah. Wow.
Yes, there are a lot. There are a few in certain parts of America. Spurs are very well. They do have their supporter bars. There's one that there used to be one in my town actually, but the bar moved. It went further south. It went into like a different town now. But there's
So
a
what you got
Manchester.
there?
There
You've
is a
got
Manchester City. There is a Manchester City supporter pub in Phoenix, but
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't imagine it
it's
gets met.
suspect.
This is
It's very suspect to say the least.
Probably someone's yard, someone's house. You know, like come in.
Yeah, I know. I will admit the bar. I've been there. I've been there before. So I mean, like it's I've been there to kind of rub it in here and there when they lose. But like, yeah, it's a nice pub that they have. They have a very nice pub, but it's not a big like our bar, the pub bar boozer. Our pub is a very big pub compared. It's like 2, if not 3 times the size of their Manchester City pub. So, but they get theirs every once in a while. You know, it's not hard to find not hard when you're a bandwagon club. Oh, I didn't even say that out loud. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that out loud. Anyway, enough about City. I wanted to definitely tone that there was a report out there, and this is another update. There was a report out there that apparently, we have made a inquiry to Newcastle for Bruno Guimaraes. Apparently, LC have made an inquiry about 3 possible DMs to bring in. Again, I know that there's some reports that say that we're not going to go in for a DM. There are some reports that I'm now seeing that have us possibly going in for another DM. Personally, I think you all know my opinion. I'm all in on support of Grava as our number 6. But there are reports out there that we have possible 3 DMs on our short list. Bruno Guimaraes from Newcastle. Newcastle want up to £85 million for Bruno. Paul Mitchell and Richard Hughes are said to have a very good relationship. So maybe that's something that we see create a bridge towards bringing in the player. I don't necessarily think it is the case. £85 million is a lot of money.
That's too much. That's crazy. I don't really like the player. I'll tell you the truth. He's all right, but I'm not adamant. Oh, we need to get him in. He isn't that type of signing for me.
The other name on the list has been a Fabian Ruiz. Spanish
guy, yeah.
Norm, I do have the list there. I can tell you the listings. Hold on one second, Norm. Let me find the actual links. Let me get through the 2, and then I'll look for the actual list of who the link is set to, because the other name on this list was Manu Kone as being a possible player to be brought in. And I know that makes like those out there like your Ensmans and the likes. Those, I know that he was very high on Kone. And another name that popped up once again has been a name that JK is very familiar with, being that he's in Germany, and that is Kimmich. Joshua Kimmich from Bayern Munich has now been put out as a name as being one of the. So those 3 are the names that the Bruno G, Kone, and Kimmich as being our short list of names that we're inquiring about. When I say that we're inquiring about them, it means that we've picked up the phone and said, well, how much are you looking to get for this player? it doesn't mean that we're actively saying, okay, yes, we'll do it. We're at least asking what is the number so that we can actually make a decision if we want to go for that or not. That's what I'm trying to get across. Way too much money. I agree, Marion. 85 million is way too much money for Bruno G. I think Bruno G is a talented player, but I don't think that Bruno G is that. I just don't think Bruno G is that guy for us. I don't think Bruno G is that guy. And again, if it does mean bringing in a player, it also means a player most likely will be exiting. That's the initial thing, is that I think that it means if we bring in a player, I think that we will see a player leave. And I don't know if any of these I've already heard that Slot has come out and said that Wata is going to be an important piece of the puzzle for us. And I don't think that Wata's going to be leaving. Obviously, we all know what Dom is doing for us. McAllister is in the beginning of a conversation. Bravo, we know, is someone that we have high hopes of. And that leaves Harvey and Curtis. And I think that Harvey and Curtis are both two players that I don't want to see go. I don't think we can see Curtis go, considering he's injured. So he wouldn't even qualify to get past the medicals if he were to leave. But I don't want to see Harvey or Curtis go either. It's not that and this isn't like player FC. It's more so I just think that they have some future with this club, I think. Do you disagree, by the way, Lee, or do you disagree, JK?
Well, with letting Bajcetic go, Endo is going to have a big role, isn't he? Like, because we haven't got that many other choices, have we? No.
Right. Yeah.
You know, you can't see Elliott ever playing in the double pivot. Like, you know, he can only really play further forward, can't he, than that? Jones can do it, but I'm not convinced about Jones in that position either. I prefer Jones further forward.
Yeah. Yeah. Big up Robert, by the way. Big up Robert. How you doing? And big up the Bonkers guys joining. Or any of those out there in the chat that are joining us late, or maybe didn't get the notifications. I don't know why YouTube is trying to do their best of sabotage. They're playing their Beastie Boys role against us, but this is not a sabotage. We are live and direct. Callum, big up. We will be doing a preview / lead in as well on Sunday for the Manchester United game. I see your shout for a 3-1 victory. We're also going to do a combined 11 on that day too. I'm going to do a quick combined 11 before the game. So if you get an opportunity to weigh in on that one, I would love to see that. I saw Coppish do their combined 11. They allowed 4 of the Red Devils to get in on the combined 11. It should be interesting to see what we as a collective decide is our combined 11. I think I'm just putting it out there. It's not going to be 4, most likely, that get into our combined 11. Heck, I don't even know if their players get into our combined 11 for our subs, but it says something there too. Big up the Pops in the house. A fellow football romantic for sure out there. Big up to you, Pops. And big up to Philip.
Bless Pops.
Yeah. I'll show this for Philip. Go ahead.
I think with a few good performances, Endo could play himself back into lots of plans, because you know, he's going to be needed, isn't he? Like, you know, we've only got 6 players there. Like, I've just been thinking about it. You know, if we got injuries, and now he's going to become almost crucial. Like, he will play quite a big role, won't he? Still, I think. All right, so far we've only had 2 games. We've only just started the season, but once it gets underway, we're really going to need Endo, aren't we? I think he can play himself into slots plans with some good performances. You know, if he comes on like in the middle of a few games, like important games, and we win them, he's, you know, helps us keep a clean sheet or something, then he could start, you know, the next week. You never know, do you?
you know what, and this is why I've been trying to emphasize this, is that I think that big up Anfield Roar, by the way, big up Anfield Roar. I think that having Gravenberch is a quality 6 for what we have in this pivot role. Okay, I'm not saying he's a destroyer. I'm not saying any of those lines. I'm saying that for what we have in the 6, I think he is a suitable and actually a very good addition. What I like about our 6 options now is that even by having a Endo as a 6 off the bench, we now have a offensive-minded 6 that can get us goals or provide some type of build-up play towards goals. And then once we have the game, we've seen how this club or how this coach likes to control and hold down games rather than continue to push, press, and try to get elaborate goals and goal sheets. By having an Endo, we now have a destroyer on the bench that can go in, hold it down, get tactical fouls or get a tactical yellow if necessary, be able to get those kinds of service from our 6 in Endo. And I think that that's a great 1-2 punch to have. Having a Gravenberch being able to go out there and run his socks off, and then have Endo basically, make sure that it's locked down when we need it to be locked down in defensive measures. That's at least how I'm looking at it. Do you see it differently, JK?
I think when you look at the Chiesa edition, then you've got Gravenberch and stuff. I think Chiesa's edition is going to affect the Champions League, the European sort of games. But Gravenberch, for me, is just finding his feet now. The last 2 games.
Okay. How about for you, Lee? What do you see what I'm saying with the whole compare? At least, do you value that those options of having those options, and can you see the value in them?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, that's short and sweet. Okay.
Look, we got rid of Carvalho, we got rid of unknown Bacetic and Clark, so we probably need another guy. For me, the Andre deal going to Wolves, I don't know why we never looked at it. Yeah, we'll see. He probably do well for Wolves anyway. See what happens.
Yeah. I was disappointed over him. I really wanted him. This time last year when he was first mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
I watched his highlights videos and they were good. He looked a real good player.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah. Ian's saying this will be the first big test for Grav in the 6 against United. He has the technical ability, but needs the consistency as well. Certainly. I agree with that completely, Ian. Completely agree with that. This will be not only his first I wouldn't say his first big test, but I would say this will be a big test for him, because I think that each test, every time he's stepped out, has been a big test. Because if he had failed against Ipswich, that would have made a mark to say, oh, everyone would have been like, oh, if you can't play against Ipswich, then you can't play the 6, And if he had his opportunity to fail once again, and against Brentford, and people would have said, "Oh, you can't, if you fail against Brentford, you can't play." I think every opportunity he gets is a big opportunity. I understand your point, though. I'm not downgrading or dismissing your fact at all. This is a huge test for him against Manchester United because of the tension that's put on this game. I think that is the significance of it for me, in that he is going to be shown to be what he can do, and having a midfield that he's going to be going up against, where you have Bruno, where you'll have Menu, where you might have even a Casemiro or maybe a Ugarte, depending on who they start. I think it's going to be a measure.
It's going to be an
And
interesting
I agree. Every match is a level.
midfield, isn't it?
Sure.
It's going to be an interesting matchup in midfield. It's the first big match we've had really to examine what our sort of new look midfield is like, and United are a good stick to measure us against, aren't they? We'll see how we're doing like this Sunday.
Bonkers is telling us about the getting very close to going to Al Nassr. Must be going for the money, I guess. But okay. Yeah, I would like to see what the price is because that is a player, by the way. I'll bring up Afro Roar's point in 1 second. This player right here is a player I thought that we would possibly be entertaining in these last 2 days. And, Al Nassr, obviously, it's the money probably that definitely emphasizes or is a bigger factor or bigger, carrot being waved for the player, even possibly for the home team as well to transfer him to.
What's the price tag for Mo Simican?
That's what actually Anfield Roar is asking that too. I know Bonkers does not know, he says, so I'll have to look that up. But this is the question. This is the point right here I want to bring up. Anfield Roar was talking to Ian. He says, very true. Magrava has some serious resistance I didn't know he had. But like Liverpool 12th man pointed out to me, Graba is a 6, and so far I like him in that role. I just think that the fact of we're going to recognize what it is, and that is this definition of a 6 for us, in having what I'm deeming as being a controller and having a player that has what I've called very Paul Pogba style talents or skill sets is going to pay off for us, I believe. And I'm hoping it'll be fitting that he has a good game against Manchester United, considering Paul Pogba was a United Red Devil, Manchester United Red Devil at one point. It'd be great to utilize a player's skill set very similar to a Paul Pogba against them on Sunday. There's this little quote from Bonkers. The door is ajar as Liverpool monitor late market moves with eyes on midfield and defense. But Everton's Jared Brathwaite will not be one of them, says Simon Jones via Mail Sport. I don't think that Everton will move on Brathwaite unless it was some phenomenal price tag that was associated with the defender. I don't see that being the case for this defender. Not saying he's a talent. He's a very good player, the whole nine. Let's not get it twisted. There's no way you're spending 75 million, 80 million, or whatever they're asking for this guy.
Yeah, but if Man City and United would pay that fee, that he would definitely go to one of them, because Everton love doing business with our enemies. United and Man City. So yeah, but I wouldn't pay that fee for him. No way.
No way. Big up Nalante. One of the generals is in the house, people.
Bless, bro.
Salute. I think that this is more likely. I do think that there is a possibility. This is a great shout by Pops, by the way. Great shout by Pops. Let them get relegated. Go back for them and get them for 40 million. I thought it was for even less. I thought it was like for 35 million, I thought, or something like that. But if it's for 40, that's cool too. 40 million, different story. That way you keep him happy by him, being by remaining in Liverpool, and while you get your affairs in order, he grows and becomes a vested portion of the Liverpool faithful. He not only he won't He has, and the reason why I say this is a great shout is because he has a clause in his contract that if they are relegated, that's at least what I've seen reported, is that if they do get relegated, that he has a release clause of 40 million if they get relegated.
Huh.
And I think that would be something of an interest for us to pursue if that was the case. But we're nearing in on the 2-hour mark. We've watched this go down. This is again on the right of your screen. That is the breakdown of our team. That is the breakdown. Some alerts are going off on my phone. Sorry about that. That is the breakdown of our Champions League. In the comments, if you're watching this on the replay or if you're watching this live as well.
We gave Leipzig quite a hammering last time we played them, didn't we, in the Champions League? Over the two games, it was about like 6-2 to us or something, like, I think.
Yeah. No, we did. If we do end up doing well in this format, I think it could prove us some benefit, because keep in mind we don't have to play Real Madrid twice. We only have to play them once. So that's a blessing, at least for now. So that could be a blessing in itself. The fact that we have to play Real Madrid at home is a blessing. Again, in the comments, if you could tell us who you think has the hardest, most difficult run in this Champions League run, what you think about our run as well, our run through the Champions League, the teams that we've gotten in our draw. Please tell us anything you'd like to say in the comments. It could be encouragement. It could be things that you'd like to see added to the show. Whatever's the case, just drop a like, say hello in the comments. We appreciate all the interaction. And yeah, it does seem like it's time flies when you're having fun, Marion. That's why, and especially when you're with a good group of people, which is you in the chat. You guys are definitely people that I enjoy seeing each and every time. So I would like to say, JK, is there something you'd like to say to the people before we allow for them to exit the live with their Thursdays, possibly go on to Frank's show later on as well?
Yeah, you can join us guys on Frank's channel at 8 o'clock. He starts. That'd be cool. Press the like on 12 Man's video for today. That'd be cool as well. And I'm looking forward to the United game on Sunday.
Yes. Please do. We'll have shows all week. We have a full lineup set up for this entire week, and we also have a lead-in once again for that Manchester United game. That's going to be a fun lead-in because we're going to do a combined 11. We got some little surprise guest appearances that should be dropping in. It's a fun time because a lot of times you see a lot of people. We get to see what they're going to do, where they're going to go watch the game, whether it's live. Like I don't know if Norm is going to Old Trafford or not, but or Ian. I don't know if Ian's going to Old Trafford or not as well, or maybe Anfield Roar. But it is fun to kind of see and hear from those of us in the chat and of the Mighty Red Army here. What we have on tap for the game and what it's going to be about. So I see JK dropped the link for Frank in the chat. Be sure to go check it out at 8 p.m. And also be sure to drop a like, be sure to drop a comment, or even more so, tell a friend to
tell a friend.
And, subscribe, be a part of the family here. Be a part of the family. Yep. Lee, do you want to say something to the people?
No, just thanks for being here, everyone. It's good to have the Champions League drawn out. It's just a shame we've got this international break, isn't it? Because the season's just getting going. And
always happens.
Yeah, to have it halted for the fortnight this early in the season is just madness. We've just started, I said, didn't I, last week? We've just had the Euros, the Copa, the Olympics. We've had football plus, and now they want internationals again for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
It's insane, isn't it? This early in the season. But we'll put up with it. We'll put up with it. We've got our Champions League draw now. We know we're playing West Ham in the League Cup. And we'll put up with it.
Yeah. There you have it. Lee putting it down the 2 cents. Definitely.
Well, Jürgen was right,
just,
wasn't it, about too many international fixtures? That Nations League is a load of rubbish. Like they're just looking for excuses to bring more and more games, aren't they? All the time.
Yeah, easily. Yeah, for sure.
And I feel it does, at the end of the day, have an effect on the product, on the pitch. The amount of really good, intense matches that you get lessens because of the extra games in other areas. You know what I mean? It can't not take a toll on the players' legs, especially the players who play every game. Like Van Dijk, and then he's got to go and play this Nations League thing every game. It's not what you want, like.
Right. Yeah.
I thought I'd just have a little moan.
It's not what you want to see, but it is what we have to. But we are Reds, so we're Reds, so we'll take the punches, and we'll even when we get knocked down, we'll get back up, and we keep on. So that's how I look at it. You know what I mean? When they say fall down 8 times, get back up 9, I think it is, or something along those lines. I'll make sure I get that saying right. But all the same, we definitely rise. That's the most important thing. So, like a live bird, we rise, and like a live bird, I am going to say bid adieu for today. But appreciate each and every one of you guys for joining us today. To all the ladies and to all the gentlemen in the chat, much love and appreciation. And to those, again, watching us on the replay, appreciate your support, and we will see you soon. So, as I always like to say, people, up the Reds, and see you tomorrow. Take care, guys.